What is up, Nerf Nation? I'm Naptown Nerf, and today we are going to be reviewing and testing a very special product, the new Turbo Ranger cage from Roboman. Now, this is a really pretty machined CNC'd aluminum cage that is a high crush cage at 41.75 millimeters, which is an interesting spacing choice, but I actually really like this choice. I think 4.15 can be a little high at times, and 42 millimeters can be a little low. So splitting that difference, I think, is a cool option, and I can't wait to try it out. So without further ado, let's take a look at this thing. And you will not have seen this unless you watched my mod guide for the Rayven, but that thing is gorgeous. But it is a very pretty purple. I went for the purple. It comes standard in the emerald green, which is also very pretty. I have a long shot plunger head in that emerald green, and it's really hard to photograph his powder coating. And this is like a purple with a blue fleck, which is really nice. I wanted to do something different, and I've not seen anybody with a purple one yet, so I think that's pretty cool. And this is number 25, if you're curious. Number 25, so pretty darn cool there. And I cannot wait to throw some motors in this thing, some flywheels on it, and test it out. So we are going to install Krakens with cyclone wheels and throw it in a Rayven and see what kind of performance we're getting. Alright, you guys, so we're going to have to do the chronograph test indoors since it is 15 degrees outside or less. Plus, it is super windy, which would kind of screw up all the data, make it very inconsistent, and it'd be very cold for myself. So we're going to do it in here. I think a more consistent, a better test today. And we are going to shoot some AccuFake darts. These are brand new. And then we will try and arrange of other things as I juggle my mags here, but this is 5 AccuStrike darts. Then we have the Adventure Force waffle darts, which are becoming popular. Then we have some standard waffle darts, and then we have some Koosh darts for some high numbers. So we will see how all these do, and I'm expecting pretty darn good performance. So here we go. AccuFake darts. 131, 136, 142, 132, 144, duplet 144, 143, 140, 146, 128, 148, 141, 148, air, 133, 142, 141, 136, 122, 145, 141, 144. I'd say that's pretty solid. All right, 5 AccuStrike, 5 Adventure Force, 5 normal waffles, 7 Koosh. Here we go. 131, 134, 137, 132, 138, Adventure Force, 132, 140, 146, 142, and 142. Move on to standard waffles. 143, 131, 113, 126, 131, Koosh, 108, 119, 151, 100, 150, 121, 113. Yeah, those Koosh darts are a little inconsistent, but I was actually getting some 160s earlier, so you never know what you're going to get there. But pretty good numbers, I would say. All right, you guys, I'm out here bearing the elements. It is nice and sunny, but it is cold out, and we're going to see what kind of range, effective range, and accuracy we're getting from the Roboman cage. So let's go ahead, put some darts in. I got the same types of darts loaded up here. These are the ones I just used, so they have been shot once, maybe twice for some of these, but nevertheless, we will go ahead and see how they do.
right, I feel like that's pretty good. I would have to angle it just slightly to hit Zombie Strike Man, but that's about the maximum range where he is at actually right now, which is surprising that I set him right in basically the exact spot that I could reach. Nevertheless, we will try the other darts and maybe we'll get a little more range there. So again, AccuStrike darts, Adventure Force waffles, standard waffles, and Koosh. Alrighty, I was not actually trying to hit Zombie Strike Man with any of those darts, just so we could see effective range since we only had 5 of each of those. So we will go ahead and see what kind of ranges we got. So all of them were pretty darn accurate except for the Koosh darts, which were pretty crazy a little bit. Not terrible, but just definitely not as consistent as the other darts as they're lighter. But the shortest ones came here around 61 feet, Koosh at 62 there. But I would say that the majority went probably about that 69 to 72 foot range, just short of Zombie Strike Man, which is pretty darn good range. I mean, we even had some go past that, and with a slight angle you can definitely get a little more performance out of it and a little more range. The Koosh darts went the furthest, and they also got the highest FPS. Nevertheless, they are the lightest darts, but also the least accurate. So very impressed with this cage. I mean, the accuracy is very, very nice. And let's go back inside and talk about it a little more where it's warmer.
All right, you guys, so I went ahead and opened up the blaster so we can kind of look at it and I could explain a few things. And if you're curious, I did do a full mod guide, if you didn't see that, for the Rayven. So if you're interested in purchasing this cage or just want to learn how to modify a Rayven, I did a pretty in-depth guide on how to do that. So definitely check that out. This cage was pretty much drop in. It does have a very tight tolerance on this screw port right here. It slides on fine, but when you put the other half of the shell down, I did have to modify this a little bit. I just took a file and sanded it down just slightly, just flattening that out so then that part can slide in between the cage and that screw port right there. And then everything seemed to fit in pretty nicely, so that's good. So as far as performance goes, I think this thing did really well, and it met my standards anyways. I would say once we get a little more foam buildup on there, and I did build up some foam before doing the chronograph test, but you know, obviously a few hundred darts isn't as much as it will be, you know, when I, you know, play with this in a war and, you know, or whatever. But, you know, I would say that 140 is a good average, you know, depending on what darts you use, but pretty much they all perform pretty much the same. I mean, those Kooshes would get a little bit up there in the 150s, 160s even on occasion, but I wouldn't recommend really using those with a high crush setup. Just can't handle that high of FPS, but all the other ones did really well. And then in terms of accuracy, I was blown away. I thought this was extremely accurate, even more accurate, honestly, than my Snicka's Rayven cage, funny enough. I don't know if it had to do with the higher FPS, or maybe that one, it is actually hurt by as much brass as on there. I'm not sure. Maybe it just seemed more accurate because I was actually able to hit things further away than with that only, you know, hits maybe about 110 FPS, I'd say. So this is far exceeds performance of the Snicka's cage in my opinion, and accuracy is as good if not better too. So very impressed with the Turbo Ranger cage. I honestly think if you want something to perform higher than that 150 cap, then you're going to have to go with a dual stage system for a rapid strike. It'd be really cool to see 2 of these in here. And that would be a very, very expensive build, but would be really, really cool. We'll see if I save up my pennies, maybe I'll buy another one, but for now, I'm happy with the one. It's perfect for wars at the Naptown NERF Club. As of now, we have a 150 cap, so this is just under that and would be perfect for that. So it really depends on your game style, you know, whether you think that the 140 FPS is enough. Maybe it's too much if you're more of an HVZ player. Then you might be able to still go with this cage, but with some different wheels or different motors even. But most likely the wheels are what's going to make the most difference. and get a little bit lower, try to get down around that 130 range, depending on what HVZ events you attend and what their cap is. But very happy with this, and I highly recommend it. I will put a link in the description of where you can pick one of these up. He only has a few of them for sale at a time. The last time I looked, he still had some for sale, but you may or may not find that they're for sale when you check it out. So just keep your eye out on his site. He puts things in stock every so often. You can message him to ask him if they are out of stock when he thinks more will come in. But very pretty. I mean, it's probably the prettiest cage, definitely the most customizable cage that you can purchase on the market. And given that it's for a Rayven, it's one of 2 metal cages that you can get. DRS is selling his cage again, but it's not comparable to this. They serve 2 different purposes in my opinion, but the fact that you can powder coat this in quite a few different options is really cool, and it is just top notch and very high quality. And I know when something doesn't go quite right, Roboman definitely would correct it and not send it to you, so his standards are top notch and his quality is impeccable. So I really hope you enjoyed this review / test of the Turbo Ranger Roboman Rayven cage. I'm looking forward to him hopefully making more cages. I was a little skeptical, to be honest, if this was going to be worth the money or even as good as his other products, given that he's more of a Springer kind of guy and this is his first Flywheel adventure. But I am blown away, and I think he did an amazing job on it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Smash that like button, please subscribe, and as always, peace out.